Hey, what's up everyone? Pete the Guttural Monk here. This is a response video to Marty Worm because this is a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time. I'm going to link his original video in the description box below, so definitely make sure you check that one out. I'm just going to talk about a couple things that he didn't discuss in his video and hopefully help you guys figure out even more about Russian bootlegs that you didn't know before. I'm going to start with one that he definitely talked about. This is Monstrosity's Imperial Doom. This is 100% a Russian bootleg. I knew what I was buying when I bought it. Something to keep in mind, especially if you're hunting out in the wild in a used bin. A lot of these Russian bootlegs come with this shitty, glossy disc tray. It has no ridges on the side here. It's completely smooth and not textured at all. That's your first giveaway that you're most likely holding a Russian bootleg. Obviously, jewel cases can be swapped out, but a lot of the Russian bootlegs that I've seen do come with this glossy tray. So there's your first hint. Another thing to keep in mind, especially if you're able to physically look at the disc, this one can get tricky. A lot of these Russian bootlegs are putting the original matrix codes on the disc. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you, the print is too small on mine, but the matrix code for the original pressing of Monstrosity's Imperial Doom is GZD20506NB055CD. That's exactly what this one says, but I can guarantee you it's not in the same font, it's not the same size, and it's not in the same position as the original copy. That's definitely something important if you're unsure and about to drop a lot of money on something that you think could be a Russian bootleg. Another thing that you should keep in mind is the weight of these pressings. These Russian bootlegs are extremely light and flimsy. You can easily manipulate the tray. It's something that you can feel, and this is something that you can't do online. Compare it to something else in your collection. Compare it to something that you've felt before. An original pressing from like Relapse Records of an album like Mortal Throne of Nazarene is going to be super heavy. This thing has an extreme amount of weight to it in comparison to a super flimsy Russian bootleg. They also have these like supports in the side of the disc tray here, adding to the weight of these pressings. Another thing they do often is botch the color matching. So this is a cool comparison. This is an original pressing of Malevolent Creations, The Ten Commandments, and this is a Russian bootleg. You can see the Russian bootleg, again, has the super shiny, smooth tray. The really interesting part is the color matching. You can see on the original pressing here, it is much lighter, much more detailed, and the colors actually make sense. This is so much darker, the contrast is boosted way up. It pops, sure, but the original is just gorgeous in comparison. I hope this does it justice. I mean, this was an example that I was really hoping that you guys can really see the difference. I can show you the backs as well. I don't want to get these confused. So, original pressing, bootleg. You can see that even the band photo, you're probably not going to make it out well, but even the band photo has a massive color difference. The contrast is boosted way up on the bootleg. Can't tell by the shitty quality of my camera here, but the text on the bootleg is all kinds of blown out. It's all kinds of fuzzy. The disc sounds fine. I mean, the music is fine. If it's about just having and owning the material, then, I mean, if you're cool with it, why not? I own quite a few of them. I'm not shy. Another thing to look at, especially with these two Malevolent Creation discs, is the disc itself. So the type on the original pressing actually runs into this clear portion of the center of the disc. On the bootleg, there is no clear portion to the center of the disc, and the type actually runs right over that extended purple that they have. Something, again, that you're not really going to be able to tell online. This is something you're going to have to experience for yourself, especially if you're out in a used bin and you find something that potentially could be an absolute score. So keep that in mind. Check the color matching if you can. Check the matrix codes. Check the discs. So now I'll get into like the morality aspect of it. What do I think about bootlegs? I mean, I own quite a bit of them. Like I said, I'm not shy about it. It happens. There are some albums that are just impossible to find, and I want that material. I want to be able to hear it and experience it as close to the original as I can get sometimes. Then there's cases where there's material that necessarily hasn't been released. So this is Cannibal Corpse, Created to Kill. This is a very common, I think, US pressed bootleg that's floating around eBay right now. You can get it for about 10, 12 bucks, something like that. They did a pretty good job with it. Obviously, it's not any kind of Vince Locke artwork. You can see it's not the, finest looking copy. It definitely has some blowouts, and it's not, super clean by any means. But this is material that was never released before. This is some Vile sessions that Chris Barnes actually did vocals for before he left the band. And this is something that the diehard Cannibal Corpse fan wants in their collection. These are tracks that we know and love from George Corpse Grinder Fisher, but having the original vocalist perform. It's super cool. But it's a fucking bootleg. No one gets any kind of credit for this. The band doesn't get anything. Metal Blade doesn't get anything. It's just the dude pressing them in what I assume is his mom's basement is fucking raking it in on these. The morality aspect of this is I'm torn on it. I don't know if this is something that I love or something that I absolutely hate. I think these labels need to be held responsible. I'm not sure if it's the label's ego. I'm not sure if it's contracts. I'm not sure if it's artwork licensing. But one way to cut down on it would be more reissues. And if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, all of my collection updates feature reissues. It's something that I truly love because I try not to buy bootlegs as often as I can. More reissues will cut down on these bootlegs, and I'm not sure why it's not happening. I'm sure it's deeper than I even know, but that would be one solution that I can come up with. Another morality conflict that I've been experiencing is what would I prefer? A very well done bootleg or a very shitty official reissue? I'm not going to dwell on this one, and I'm not trying to bash anyone, but this was put out earlier this year on Chaos Records. This is an official reissue. It comes in a super flimsy case. The artwork looks a little bit blown out. The disc itself straight up looks like a bootleg. The material apparently wasn't mastered from the original DAT tapes, so like, what is this? Like, I don't even know what to classify this as. And what makes this specific example even worse is this same album was reissued months later by Dark Descent in the Crypt, and I can guarantee that their reissue is going to be infinitely better than this one out of Chaos Records. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash it, that's just the way I feel about this one. Why go through the trouble of putting out an official reissue only to have it look worse than what a bootleg would look like? I just don't understand. You can do it the right way. This was put out earlier this year on Nuclear War Now Records. This is Beherit's Oath of the Black Blood. This is almost identical to an original pressing, and at least they took the time and effort all the way down to the way that he put the logo on the back to have it look like the original Turbo logo. This is a reissue done extremely well. This does not scream bootleg. This is fucking awesome. Labels need to pay more attention and do things the right way because collectors were starting to, I don't know, get pissed about it. I'm spending my money. I want the best product that I can get. So yeah, that's just a couple more things to keep in mind, a couple more topics to ponder over. Like I said earlier, if you're buying something online, it's a roll of the dice every single time you click buy it now because you really don't know what you're getting until you get it. Hopefully, if you're out in a record store, somewhere with a good used selection or somewhere that focuses on buying people's collections and reselling them correctly, hopefully this helps you a little bit in determining, what is real and what isn't. There are absolutely albums that, you should pay up for. If it's a real copy, I mean, to own a piece of history like that is worth a serious amount of money. I just hope this kind of helps you determine what's worth your money. So that's about it. I hope this helped. I hope next time you're sifting through a used bin, there's a couple, things that you remember from this video and can check out for yourself, especially if you're going to drop, a pretty penny on something you think might be an original pressing or at least an early pressing of something. That's it for this video. Cheers.